Hey Artem, how's it going? I'm doing good. Getting this character prepared for Shadow of the Erd Tree. Right now I'm gathering all the death root. So I can give it to Gronk. And I can kill Gronk. Ah, he's wasting my potion. Okay. Oh my god. This boss is actually kind of scary, not gonna lie. Like, for someone with my level of vigor. Ow. I think that's everything. Maybe a recipe or like some stones in here. I remember coming here for like, I think it's like a +5 or something. This is one of these areas that I have not explored a whole lot. Elden Ring is cool, but you can encounter a lot of repeating bosses. I think it's okay. Like, it makes sense that the cat statues are repeating. Why is that splice floating there? Ow! That's why. It's protecting his body. Where's the next one? Found Gelmir's hero grave. Oh my god. That was under attack for a second. Gelmir's hero grave. Pretty sure I have that one, right? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, well, let's go spend these runes first before before I get on a flaming chariot. Wasting some morning stones. I do think there are like 2 or 3 too many ulcerated tree spirits in the game. And it is weird how they have like a, I think the biggest like the most stand out kind of example is goad free. Like you have this extremely unique model that's clearly like a boss model, and then you put another copy in a Everjail. I think that's gotta be the worst. What else I can do? Yeah, spend runes. Okay. Is Elden Ring FromSoft planning to make Elden Ring 2? No. They're done with Elden Ring after this DLC. Actually, swap out Piercer for the hammer. I never use Piercer, but I sometimes do need the hammer, especially here. Ouch. Pretty sure I can just jump down. There we go. Okay, give me a sec. I should probably drink my bubble potion right now, just in case I do get thrown off. That usually only happens in multiplayer, but I just want to be sure that doesn't happen here. Okay. Gotta heal up for a sec. You were playing Elden Ring 2 years ago and you didn't finish it? It's worth finishing. Is my health up yet? Okay, I think it is. Let's go swap over. The Red Wolf of Radagon. Guess Great Shields would be good here. I didn't need the Great Shield Ashes. I didn't think I was gonna like two-shot him. I thought he was like resistant to magic or something. Okay, next one. Wow, all the way in the snowy mountains. Death route, hidden path to the Halig tree. Okay, and then Giant's Mountain Catacombs. Right. Be a mariner. I think I got that one already though. So there's two more that I need to go get. Here. Give me a sec. You're back. Okay, I'm back. How's my project? How many characters did I make? There's still the original 4. I'm finishing up the third race. So we have the humans. Humans and vampires are in a pretty good state. This will be done in like, I'd say a week or two. Probably like 2 weeks or something, you know. Not too long. And then we have the abyssals, which are they won't take too long either. They're basically almost done, I'd say. A bit scary, actually. There's like one more behind the wall there, I think. How do I kill this guy from behind? Like, the way to kill these squid is to knock them out and then it's kind of hard to aim. that's a lot of damage. Okay. Now watch out for that claw attack, that will one-shot me. I wonder, does this boss also drop the Great Cloak? The Great Hood? I don't need that. I think it's just like octopus eggs over there. Am I planning to hire a few people? No. I am not. I think the biggest reason that I see a lot of indie games fail is because they run out of money. If I never like hire people, or if I have like zero expense for making a game, it's just me making a game, whittling at it slowly. I think I have a much greater chance of succeeding. Pretty sure I can just jump here, right? Yeah. I do kind of want to see what's in there. I don't know where the dude is. We'll try there. Okay, we'll try further on because I do know there's a dastard. Or maybe not. Huh. I thought there was a dude in here. Silver Scarab. Ooh, that'll be good for the DLC. Bigger drop chance. I can do that. Can I get a hole in one? I can, but I aimed a little bit too low. Oh, I just got one. Try again. Oh, way too high. What is like comment? What? What was that? Why does that not hit? There we go. And then there's just like one around the corner here. That's it. Kind of hard to cram more than 3 people in this room. Someone left a trail of messages. There's definitely something behind that corner. I think it's just the one there. Oh, someone died. Phantom died. These guys do surprisingly... Oh my god, jeez, that Phantom scared the shit out of me. Surprisingly large amounts of damage for their size. I don't like this room. Okay, how do I deal with this guy? Maybe I can just like aim for snipes for the head. Whoops. Because I can actually aim manually here. I can actually target the head. That does shit damage. Can he attack me from up here? I think he might be able to. He flails around a bit. Kind of difficult. Yeah. I do not like this room. I think what I'll do, I'll just run in there and then I'll just like GTFO. I'll just go down this way. Alright, a much safer location. Yeah, that's just a really bad spot to attack from. Wow, that really hit nothing. I know there's like a lot of enemies down there. But is it worth it? I think there's a talisman in there, but I don't think it's actually worth going in there to kill things. Okay, that was worth it. Ah, shit. He's line of sighting me. He's using advanced PvP strats. Trying to bait me into his trap here. It's not gonna work. Might have to use just go lure them in. I can actually just finish them off with a crossbow. This crossbow does really good damage with meteor bolts. There's another one there. I feel like there's like one more in there. I have 8 mana potions. I have plenty. Let's go Starlight first. Carrion Phalanx. I can't pronounce shit today. The location reminds me of Dark Souls 2. Because of the green mold color everywhere. I understand what you mean, but in the future, if you like, I can help you do some models from time to time. Yeah, that'll be in the far future. When, like, I actually have money. I feel like there's one more in here. Oh, there he is. I knew there's like one more in here. I always manage to cram another mob in here. Is that it? Just resin 4? What a waste of time. And then there's nothing else here. Just go up here, hold the lever, get the talisman, come back down, I think. Wait. Did I just open the door? I think I just opened the door. There's no lever for this one. Oh. Wait, that's for the elevator chute. I'm stuck up here. Elevator music. It should play elevator music. I don't know why FromSoft decided against adding elevator music to the game when there's so many elevators. Locked by some contraption, what? Weak foe ahead. Probably talking about me. Is it in here? Did I miss the lever? The fuck? Where do I pull the lever? I hardly ever do this dungeon. Oh, maybe it's up here. Ah, here it is. I found it. My video about knights claimed several hundred views. Oh, that's nice. Okay, what is this? This is like mimic tier, right? I think it is. There we go. Interactive map. Stray mimic tier. Okay, let's go. Let's be a little bit cheesy. Let's take off my offensives here. There we go. Hopefully it is a mimic tier and not like some boss that I actually need. Yeah, it's a mimic tier. Okay. It's my staffs. He's not aggro to me. Starlight Shard. Oh wait, he's dead. Oh yeah, that's because I have 0 HP. I forgot. I forgot that he has the same amount of health as I do. Or like, it's not the same, right? It's like scaled up because it's a boss. But he has like 10 vigor scaled up to boss level. Okay, we got that. What else? Oh god, I have to kill an ulcerated tree spirit. Giant's mountaintop catacombs. Oh no, it's this one. I hate this one. I hate this catacomb. Am I gonna make more videos about knights and similar stuff in the future? I probably will, but it's unlikely I'll do it in the near future because I'm just very preoccupied with Project Nova. Also, like, I don't think there's anything else I can, like, I don't know if there's any more like knowledge I can impart onto people. Like, yeah, I basically said everything there is to know about using ZBrush to make armor. At least from what I know. Like the rest, honestly, is just studying photos of armor, visiting museums that have armor in them. And yeah, it's like practicing. Like all the techniques for making armor, I've already shared. Like making flutes, rolled edges, rivets. It's all pretty basic ZBrush stuff, honestly. Yeah, like surface noise stuff. What else did I have here? I had like pots, I think. Yeah, all right. I had the pots. I think this is the last. This is the last death route, which is nice, because I'm not a fan of dungeons at all. I swear there's like one hanging from the ceiling up there. I'm gonna see if I'm right. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Oh, I was right. It's just the wrong ceiling. And yeah, if you haven't seen already, I do have a collection of references I took myself when I was in Europe. Like, oh my God, is it really like 10 years ago? That's crazy. Maybe like 8 years ago. But yeah, there's a lot of armor in there, like all over Europe. It's on my art station. You can go check it out there. Liberal use of Canon of Hyma. There's gotta be more than just, yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, there's gotta be more than just one. That's insane if there's just one at the end of the hallway there. Okay, I think that's it. Just two. I mean, another thing that you can do if you're like super fixated into making some armor in 3D is to make it in real life. So just get some sheet metal and like hammers and stuff. Start making it yourself. That'll definitely teach you a lot about like making armor in 3D. Oh, okay. I know where they are. It's this room with the magic pods. Nice. 2 for 1. This is the one with the... Actually, this isn't the one that I hate. This is like the one that is like a bit tricky. But it's not the one that I hate. The one that I hate has like the cat boss and like the freezing totem. How old am I? I'm 30. I turned 31 in July. I'm actually not that young. I'm getting up there in years. My back is starting to hurt. Mostly from bad posture, I think. Posture check. Let's just pray that doesn't get blocked by a blade. There we go. And there's one more over there. Wow. I wish I was 28. I wish I was 28. But alas. So annoying that I can't like okay. Like I wish I could like lock onto enemies that I know are enemies, like those pots. When they're in the asleep stage. I think there's one more in this corner. One of these corners. Nope. Okay. Ritual pot. Nice. I need those. And then from here, jump down. Then, like the elevator shenanigans, I think. Yeah. There's a few pots here. How did people die here? Did they just AFK by the lever and then they end up getting beaten up by the little pots here? Oof, what a way to go. They do just like AFK here. Oh, they're like, oh no, what's hitting me? I just heard something. Okay, back down we go. Over this way. Boss door is open now, so we can finally get our death route. Get out of this cave. This dungeon. Why would anyone design a dungeon, like a catacomb that is like this? Doesn't make any sense. It's too hard to access. Wait, where's my dagger? There it is. What is this boss again? Also a tree spirit, I think. Fuck. Do I have enough mana? Okay, I do. Some of those. Drink up. Actually, I don't have time to drink up. He's gonna charge. Jesus Christ. Okay, he's dead. Wasn't too bad. My damage is still carrying me. Not even plus 25 yet. I think these are, yeah. Just plus 18. Night shard, night comet. Done with that. How much death do I have? I think I gave Gronk 3 already, so I should have. How many do I have? I have 6. How many in total is there? One. There's a total of 9, so I have all of them. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just give Gronk all of the death root, and then pray to God he doesn't kill me before I kill him with my night comet. Is he angry? No, he's not. Okay. He gets angry after the 4th one, I believe. He goes a little cray-cray. There you go.
There's something else but the death, yet quenches. Bring more.
That's all there is, buddy. Wait, I only got Beast Roar from giving him 6. Hold on, let's go reload the zone and then hopefully not die. This gonna suck. Oh, is he friendly now? Yep, okay, he's friendly. I don't blame you. Probably could have second phased him here. Okay. Wow, I get everything. Nice. Oh no, he dies. I don't remember that. Head. That's funny. Left. Okay, there's just one dude who's just like, yeah, let's go put all 3 signs here. Suffering. Be wary of dog. I'm gonna leave this boss here, just because it's cool to see like a boss here. If I kill him, then, well, all you get is a gargoyle black blade, and those kind of suck. Okay, well, got everything there. I think that's everything. I think I got everything that well, I should loot Leyendell for the spear. Like, after the Erd tree's burnt, there's a lot of stuff that's unavailable in Leyendell. That's one of the reasons why I don't kill, Malekith. Yeah, we'll just AFK a bit, get some work done. I actually want to take a short break here, and then we'll get to work. You're back. You're here? Hello. Hello here. Okay, I'm back. Hope you pass the game and prep for that DLC. Let me give you a follow for luck. Thank you for the follow in advance. It sounds like bot behavior. I don't know if I want to. I'm not gonna follow someone just because they told me to follow. You can't guilt trip me into following. One sec, let me go turn the. Okay. I'm back for realsies. Let's just go at it with standard brush. Not sure what I should do with the breasts. I was thinking about like putting like a mouth on each boob. Doesn't like Diablo have that or something? One of the iterations of Diablo. Let's see if we. Actually, I have a insert. Well, let's test this out. Yeah, let's do this here. Now, what if we put like a mouth on each boob? That'd be pretty funny, actually. Wait, where is this? Okay. Let's delete this first, actually. Turn RGB off. So that keeps the RGB. But yeah, like what if there's like just two breasts, two mouths here. Right there. Or something like that, I don't know. Something interesting. I think it's a cool idea, but it's also kind of a silly idea. I think it's a little bit too silly. Let's go delete this. We're not doing that. We'll just go with what we have. I do want to modify the topology because there's not going to be nipples. Cho, what do you want? You want attention? Does the Cho want attention? Oh shit. I don't. Can I use delete loops without stuff getting welded? I think I can, right? Yeah. Alright. Oh, we've been summoned. Rumbling Faramazula. Nice beard. It's a crumbling Faramazula. Oh. I don't like how I'm sinking into the ground like that. It's kind of. What am I doing? Okay, let's buff up first. Aw, man, I'm gonna die here. Whoa! Shit, I thought I rolled that. I didn't. Oh well, oh well. Wait, I didn't really want to do crumbling fragments with anyway. What we can do here is just delete all of this, I think. Whoops, shit. Yeah, and then bridge. Bridge. Insert single edge loop. Delete that. And then bridge. Z modeler is a bit weird. It's kind of like a unintuitive way to build geometry. I think that'll work, right? Hopefully. Let's save it first, because sometimes it does crash when I take it out of freeze subdiv. Especially when the geometry is really weird. Here it's not very weird, but we'll just save it just in case anyway. Okay. Bring it out of subdiv. I think I just crashed Elden Ring. It's the frame rate unacceptable for... Frame rate unsuitable for gameplay. ZBrush is hogging all the resources right now. At the same time, you gotta wonder why they put like a frame rate cap on Elden Ring. It's probably because it only happens with Elden Ring that I get that frame rate unsuitable for gameplay bug or the error message. No other game does that. It's just Elden Ring. So I assume it's just Elden Ring being stupid. Let's go regroup a few things. I also noticed like the ear had like a extra poly group there. Okay, that's good. Well, I'll F for this because I have to restart anyway. Oops. Is there anything interesting to watch? To listen to in the background? Massive landslide in Papua New Guinea.
Feared dead in a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea. It struck around 600 kilometers north of the capital, Port Moresby, at 3 a.m. local time. Authorities say that 6 remote villages were hit by the landslide and that emergency response teams are assessing the damage. Reuters news agency has published this footage filmed by a community leader in the province of Enga.
As you can see, this is destruction, natural catastrophe that took place last night at 3 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Everyone were fast asleep, not knowing that anything could take place, and they were fast asleep, and all of a sudden natural catastrophe took place, and the place was covered by rocks. As you can see, there are more than 300 lives have been covered, food gardens, the people, the properties worth more than millions guineas have been lost, covered by all these things here. As you can see, this is a landslide that took place last night at 3 o'clock. As you can see, it started right there on top of the mountain, and these are the boys, local boys here. Right now they are watching what is going on the ground right now. I'm on the ground right now talking to locals here, and from the information that I acquired from the people on the ground, they've just said that more than 300 lives have confirmed covered by the debris and rocks here right now. As you can see right at the back, people are crying and yawning, and people are very mourning for the lives that have been lost. And here there are people standing. Right now I'm standing on the lives of, standing right on the places where incident took place. And this landslide led down further down to where the live river is. And as you can see right there, people are coming with bags of cows from Mondagen to Pogra. Right now as we're speaking, the Pogra mine is still, it stands still right now. And therefore this is a video that I'm taking. This is a natural catastrophe that happened for the first time in the history of our province, and from the information that I acquired from the people on the ground, they've just said that this is something that has never happened before, and is the first of its kind.
Well, I'm joined now by David Petley. He's a geographer and earth scientist at the University of Hull in the UK. Mr. Petley, it's good to have you with us. What is your assessment of the situation there after this landslide, based on the information you've heard?
Well, good afternoon. So this is a very big detachment from the side of the mountain. A massive, probably more than 1 million tons has broken away and turned into literally an avalanche of rock. These are incredibly destructive events, sweeping everything out of their way and burying and destroying villages and farms. This is a relatively rare event, but a particularly serious case.
What do we know about what caused this disaster?
Well, Papua New Guinea is a very landslide-prone country. I mean, partly because it suffers frequent, significant earthquakes, and partly because it has very intense rainfall, and partly a tropical climate. So landslides aren't unusual in this part of the world. This is the 11th fatal landslide in Papua New Guinea in 2024. At the moment, it's not really clear what the particular trigger of this event was. And in fact, for these very big rock avalanches, sometimes there is no trigger event. It is just literally the mountainside breaking down and then collapsing.
Yeah, is that what you would say we're seeing here? Because this is what, the second massive landslide to hit Papua New Guinea within the past 3 months.
Yes, I mean, there's been a whole series of events this year. I mean, more landslides than we normally see, and at this time of the year, be compared with the last 20 years or so. And now most of those have been associated with very heavy rainfall, and Papua New Guinea has been hit by a repeated series of big rainstorm events. And those big rainstorm events are probably driven by climate change. I mean, essentially, a warmer atmosphere contains more moisture. Therefore, we're seeing this increase globally of the most intense rainfall. So that is the overall picture, but it doesn't appear that this particular landslide was triggered by a rainfall event. So it's quite intriguing.
Is there any way, Mr. Petley, that these landslides can be predicted? I mean, is there any way to forecast that a disaster is going to occur?
To a certain degree, yes. I mean, in parts of the world, we know that we can map the areas that are most affected by these landslides, and the first order move people out of the way. And unfortunately, that isn't being done in Papua New Guinea. if you know a particular slope is dangerous, then we can put instruments onto it and monitor it and run an early warning system. But really, the first essence must be to undertake that mapping. And then the other element really is of course this is a population that's very vulnerable because they're not affluent. They have relatively poor sort of national services, medical and such like. And so when these disasters happen, it's very difficult to get assistance and medical aid to people, and that increases the losses.
David Petley of the University of Hull in the UK. Mr. Petley, we appreciate your time and your analysis tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sharp edge retention and scabbards. Hi folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiatorian. Now many of you will know that I sold an original 1796 light cavalry sabre to Windlass, and they copied it and made these amazing things. They came out really, really well. I've been certainly very happy with the prototype that I've had, and I know other people out there have received theirs and been very happy with them as well. Now, I should briefly mention there are other companies making 1796 light cavalry sabres, but they are not terribly close to the originals. The only one that I would currently endorse and say is very close to the original is the Windlass version, available through museum replicas, Atlanta Cutlery and various other places. Now this one came to me butter knife sharp, should we say, so kind of blunt but not with a thick edge, so ready to be sharpened. Now this is actually historically accurate, because this is how 19th century military swords left the factory. They weren't, for the most part, sharpened in the factory, they were sharpened at the regiment. So actually very historically accurate from that point of view as well. So what did I do when I wanted to have this sharpened? Now I could sharpen it myself, and it must be said, in the 19th century, lots of people sharpening swords didn't do a very good job. There was a wide spectrum, so sometimes at the bottom end of the scale, at the kind of crappiest end of the scale, we might get someone, the regimental armourer, who just runs a load of the sabres across a big old grinding wheel and puts a sort of edge on them, and it's pretty rubbish and it doesn't cut very well. At the other end of the spectrum, we actually see records of cavalry regiments when they're going on campaign, for example to Egypt or Sudan or Afghanistan or wherever, actually sending all of the regimental sabres off to a professional cutler to get them professionally sharpened. That's what I did with this. We'll come back to that in a second. And there's another thing as well, officers and sometimes cavalry regiments who were based in India did the same thing, but they did it with a sort of native, with an Indian professional sharpening service, cutler essentially. And there were specific people in India who actually that was their entire trade and their job, and that's what they did. And they did an amazing job. And there is a difference. There are different styles of sharpening. There's different angles, different edge bevels, but there's also different which direction you sharpen in and things like this. So we do find differences on the original antiques. So what did I do with this one? I sent this off to my friends at Emberleaf Workshops. I'll stick a link to them below, and they do a sword sharpening service, and I've had them sharpen a number of swords for me, which I use for test cutting martial arts practice purposes. And they've done an amazing job. It's been a learning process because obviously they're initially primarily knife makers, very high-end, nice quality hunting knives. So they had to kind of change, obviously, a longer blade, usually thicker blades, different edge bevels. They had to experiment with what worked, and you know, there was some hit and miss at the beginning, but they've ended up with something really, really sharp. So how does this come back to scabbards? Well, quite simply, I've now got an extremely sharp edge here, which I don't want to ruin. I don't want to have to take it back to Emberleaf, even though they're not far away from me. I don't want to have to take it back to them to have it resharpened, but it lives in a steel scabbard. Now, I'm going to gingerly and carefully take it out of the scabbard. You will notice that we have a single-edged sword here, so I don't have to worry about both edges coming into contact. I only have to worry about that front cutting edge coming into contact with other metal and potentially ruining my edge. or at least making it not as efficient as it currently is. So I let it under gravity for the most part rest against the back of the scabbard as I draw it out. Now if I was wearing this sword, it would be that way round on horse or on foot, and so I have to make sure that I push towards the back, pushing the back blunt edge towards the back of the scabbard as I draw it out, so that none of that front edge, there we go, comes into contact with the scabbard. Now, let's put this incredibly sharp sword down very gingerly and carefully for a second and talk about the scabbards. Why did they use iron and steel scabbards? Quite simply because they were durable. So within particularly 19th century militaries, and this runs over into the 20th century and back into the 18th century, they were concerned about economy. So if you're spending hundreds or thousands of pounds on swords for your military, you want the swords to last a long time, and you also want the scabbards to last a long time. And it was found through bitter experience on campaigning that leather or wood and leather scabbards got destroyed on campaign. I talked about this recently in application to medieval swords, that we should expect that historically medieval swords in wood and leather scabbards, very often the scabbards must have got broken and got damaged, and they must have been replaced many times during the lifespan of the sword, because the sword can massively outlast the scabbard. This is also true of things like Japanese swords, Indian swords, Chinese swords, and so on and so forth. So the advantage of a steel scabbard is it's highly durable, it lasts for potentially forever, and it protects the sword as well. It protects the sword's blade. The disadvantage, as we've just seen there, is the trouble of it blunting the blade. There's two ways that can happen. Either internally, it can bang against the inside of the tube, essentially, or when you're sheathing it and drawing it, it can rub against this throat here. So they did a number of things to mitigate those in the 19th century. One is they put liners in. So these actually have, the originals actually have wood and or leather liners inside the scabbard to prevent against the edge as you're riding along or walking around from the edge banging into the inside of the scabbard and blunting it. So that protects it there. However, that doesn't protect it when you're drawing and sheathing. So what I have to be super careful with this is that steel or iron throat, as it's called there, or locket. As we pass that through, we have to make sure that we keep the edge away from that. Because obviously if we're repeatedly drawing and sheathing and drawing and sheathing, you're essentially stripping off a fine surface, or you're abrading essentially, even if that's softer iron against harder steel, the hard steel blade against soft iron scabbard, it's going to rub away that finest level of the edge, and when you need it in combat it's not going to perform as well. So the other thing they did to overcome that later on, we'll talk about wood and leather scabbards in a second. The other thing they did later on to overcome that is you'll notice this metallic locket up here is a funny colour. That's because it's made of what they call German silver, and that's about the hardness of brass, so it's distinctly softer than the steel blade. So even though there might be incidental rubbing of this is an original antique, incidentally, 1896 pattern, even though there might be incidental rubbing of the blade against the throat as you draw the thing out, it shouldn't be too bad because it's much, much softer than the steel blade, so that's better than iron. So that's another thing they did. And finally, of course, they went back to using leather or wood and leather scabbards. At the end of the 19th century in the British Army, this is what they did. So they actually decided in the end that it was better to maintain a sharp blade rather than necessarily worrying about how long your scabbard lasted, and when the scabbard was destroyed they replaced it. However, this is an officer's sword, and that is specific, certainly in the British Army, really to officers' swords, because they can afford to replace their scabbards. And they don't get quite as harshly treated as regimental swords, which worn by cavalry troopers, which get in the regiment for years and don't really get looked after by the troopers. So troopers' swords, even at the time of this wood and leather scabbard, still for the most part had steel scabbards. And incidentally, I would argue that's one of the large points why they eventually went, at the end of the 19th century, lots of militaries went to thrusting swords for cavalry over cutting swords, because they just couldn't keep their blooming cutting swords sharp. Whereas a sharp pointy object, whether it's a screwdriver or a sword, is always going to go through stuff. It doesn't actually need to be very sharp to do so because it's focused on a small point. So, The last thing I would say is to come back to medieval swords, and you could also apply this to Indian swords, Japanese swords, as I say, Chinese swords. They almost always had wood and leather scabbards. I should say, actually, we do have metal scabbards. They're not a purely 19th century invention. We have them all the way back in the Iron Age. So we actually find Iron Age swords with bronze scabbards sometimes. So there were metallic scabbards around all the way back in, technically prehistory, I guess, in the kind of pre-Roman era. And you do find it in other parts of the world as well. But by and large, most cultures that valued having a sharp blade kept it in a wood and leather scabbard. But two things I want you to take away from this video is, number one, you should expect these to be perishable. Okay, think of them like a pair of shoes or, you know, a hat. They might
scabbards
last
are
a
like
fair time, but they will
shields.
progressively
They're
get more
perishable.
and more shabby. They'll eventually fall apart. They won't necessarily be watertight anymore, and you'll have to replace them. Okay, so scabbards were
Like the
and would have been
wooden
pretty
shield, not metal shield.
perishable. I won't say disposable, but perishable, like a pair of shoes. So you might repair them a few times, and eventually they'd get beyond the pale, and you'd have to replace them. But the other thing which I think gets overlooked is they aren't magical. They are simply a softer material than the steel or iron scabbards. Okay, so yes, indeed, these will protect the edge, and same with a Japanese katana or you know, an Indian talwar. The wood scabbard, the wood lining, won't damage the edge as much as a metal scabbard, but every time you rub that sharp edge past that wood, it is going to have an abrasive effect, just the same as how you polish things with a felt or a cloth buffing wheel. It still polishes the steel, but it does it much more slowly and much more softly. And so that will happen also with a wooden scabbard or a leather scabbard. They will have some effect on the sharpness. So even with these scabbards, the edge will have to be stropped or well, actually really sharpened and then stropped every now and again, just not as often as the steel scabbard.
Are you supposed to strop
once more,
after sharpening or before sharpening? I thought you're supposed to strop
also
before
kudos
sharpening.
to Emberleaf Workshop, the link below, for the sharpening they've done on this and a number of other swords for me,
After.
including
be
some of the
wrong.
Royal Armourers line, because they've done an amazing and slightly scary job, and I'm very, very careful and have a lot of respect around these things. But it massively changes if you're used to handling blunt antiques, let's face it, because antiques are almost always blunt. When you handle something which is truly freshly sharpened, it makes you draw and sheath the sword in a very different way and gives you a new respect for the sharpness of the weapon, but also a disrespect for the nuisance of iron and steel scabbards, and particularly the iron or steel throats up here, which would just strip the edge off. Anyway, I hope that's been useful and interesting. Take care, folks, and I will see you back on the channel really soon. Cheers. Thanks for watching. We've got extra videos on Patreon. Please give our Facebook a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers, folks.
How Path of Exile 2 will revolutionize AR. Actually, I don't really want to listen to that. Oh my god. There's like nothing to listen to right now. I guess we'll just listen to like music. Guys, I know I just hit my stride here working on art, but I gotta take a short break to go eat food. Lunch is here, so I gotta go get it. I'll be back in 10-15 minutes. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Wow. Making head kibble. Oh, I look at you, Nazi. wanna go with me? I'll go by myself then. Both take that. Okay. Well, if you wanna go with me, take me there and then we can have dinner, or yeah, get ready then. Hey guys, I gotta go. Gotta get a haircut. I'll see you guys later. I'll probably be on streaming later tonight, probably. Yeah, gotta go. See yas. Take care.